Good morning and welcome to St. Bridget's Spiritualist Church service for Sunday, July 30th. And we're trying something new today in that we are actually live in the church and we have a group of people joined us here in the room. And we are doing a Facebook Live for the discussion part or our talk for today. And then we will turn it back off and you'll get to hear the talk and it'll be posted on Facebook. So thank you for joining us. And maybe, Reverend Kim, if you could watch the comments, if somebody says hello, or, then you can answer. So, today, I've talked about this many times before, but I've been watching movies, don't judge, lately. And my husband and I actually went on a date night and went and saw Oppenheimer. It's a very interesting movie, but it really hurt my heart. And last night, for some unknown reason, I watched Schindler's List, which also really hurt my heart. And I won't say that both of them didn't make me cry because then I'd be lying. But in watching Oppenheimer, it was very interesting. I'm a very sciencey kind of person, and to watch the science piece of putting it all together and how they were able to bring so many different scientists in to create that bomb was scientifically really amazing. Humanistically, it was devastating. And one of the parts of the movie, and it was a very long movie, but the one that really stands out in my mind was after they had deployed the two bombs and bombed Japan, Oppenheimer did not want to continue with the research to develop different types of bombs and different types of destructive forces. And he went to the then president, and don't ask me who it was because I can't remember, and he made the comment that he felt regret for something that was that destructive. And he was basically called a bad name, and the president said, don't ever bring that man here to, that soft heart kind of feeling with a much more negative word, to me again. I don't ever want to see him again. And I thought, wow, how powerful is that? You've created this, and as a science person, it's amazing. It was destructive and it caused so much damage, and that hurt my heart. But knowing scientifically what it took to build that bomb was really quite amazing. But then to have the humanistic response to say, that was awful and I don't ever want to do that again. And then to have that laughed at and made fun of and ridiculed. And eventually he was really ostracized for his view on not continuing that kind of research. And I thought, wow, I understand the science part, but I don't understand how the humanity part couldn't take over everyone. How could you not feel bad for the lives that were lost, for the destruction that it caused? And make fun of somebody who did have that kind of compassion. And I left the movie going, I can't believe that he was made to feel that way. And then when I was watching Schindler's List yesterday, and I know that these are dramatizations, and I'm sure they've been embellished, and it's not 100% true to the word, but when I look at that story, and Schindler was not a good man. He did not start out as a good man. I think in the end he came to realize, and he did what he could then once he knew what was happening and came to grips with what was happening, because I don't think anybody didn't know what was happening. And he started to help save people. And in the end, I'm watching the end and it's making me cry as they bring in all of the people he saved and the legacy of the generations that followed from those people. And in the end, I think they said he saved 1,100 Jewish people from going to Auschwitz. And there's a line in the movie where he's talking to one of the soldiers who was cruel. He would shoot people for the sake of shooting people from his balcony, and he would, beat people up. He was terrible. And at this point, Schindler has kind of made that turn into realizing that he needs to be a better person. And he says to him, and he's talking about power, and he's talking about how true power actually comes from the compassion And he talks about how when you look at an emperor who has great power, and somebody comes in for a crime they've committed that should be punishable by death, and the emperor forgives him and exonerates him, that's where the power is. Killing him doesn't have a power. It's taking a life. That's punishment. But exonerating him and letting him move forward in his life, knowing that he committed the crime and that he's been exonerated for it and can do better, that's where the power is. And to me, that with that power comes love. And it has to come from a place of love. You can't have hate in your heart and have that kind of power to exonerate somebody. And so in the end of that Schindler's List, when they're rolling the credits and the descendants of those, well, and some of the survivors as well, are placing rocks on his headstone. And they talk about the fact that the Jewish people actually recognized him and allowed him to plant a tree in Jerusalem because of his deeds. And at the end of the movie, you see him weeping, I could have saved more, I could have saved more. In the beginning, he's all about money. He really doesn't care, he just wants money. And that's what it means to him, and he has this epiphany. And I thought, wow, in both those cases, two different men, same war, I guess, really, realized that love is the way to move forward, and that hurting people and killing people and being destructive isn't a way to live. It isn't a way to have power. And when we look around the world today and we see our leaders who seem to be so full of hate, and they're trying to maintain this sense of power, when really it's been shown over and over again that love is the power. And so, Huey Lewis says it best, the power of love, right? And we can do the same in our own lives. We can continue to be hateful, we can continue to be angry, and we can continue to seek revenge against those who have wronged us. Or we can stand in our own power and say, I won't forget, but I can forgive. And I can move on from this point. And that's all we can do for ourselves. We can't change everyone, but we can change us. And in that love and that compassion and that sense of, this is who I am, and this is the power I hold, we can find our way forward. It's not always easy. We've all been wronged in some way, some of us more so than others. And I, for one, have held on to many things in my life that I've not forgiven people for. But it takes a sense of knowing who you are and who you want to be to let go of that pain and that anger. Hold on to the memory. Don't let it happen again, but forgive those that have done us wrong. So I'm going to end our Facebook Live on that today, and I thank everyone who joined us online, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Take care.